Hi again, everyone. This particular little video clip, I wanted to just go over some stuff related to host files on your two operating systems, and the reason why we can kind of use them. Most of the stuff you're doing with web servers, once you actually roll them out into a live environment, it's going to require proper DNS configuration and DNS settings. Now, that's all well and good, but a lot of times you need to be able to test out your setup to make sure everything's doing what you want it to do long before you ever get to that point. To allow that to happen, what you'll often do is you'll often change some files around so that you bypass the DNS altogether and use a thing called a host file. The host file on your Windows system is in the etc. directory. There's actually a bunch of stuff in the etc. directory. But the main thing we're looking for is a host file. So you can see that I've already played with this a little bit. So I have a thing called myserver.ca and edserver. There's also some other ones that were put there by the system when it was initially set up. Localhost, localhost.domain, localhost4. There's also some IP6 specific stuff of localhost6.localdomain6 and localhost6. For when we actually finally end up rolling out IP version 6 across the net. That's what your entries are going to kind of start to look like. So if we want to set something up for a website called mywidgets.com, then what we can do is we can just put an entry into our host file, and then once we put that entry in, and of course I have to be the super user to do this, so by me doing this, I can now ping mywidgets.com and it'll point back to my local server. So the whole idea of using this this setup is to either let you kind of configure an in-house way of testing something out, or there are times where you might not want your web server to be visible outside of a range of certain computers, and you'll just tell everyone that you want using the site that this is what you need to do. You need to go and change your etc. hosts file to allow that to happen. Now, that's how you do it in Linux. There is a way to do this in Windows as well. It's buried a little bit. I might have mentioned it in another video. I can't really remember if I did or not, so I'm going to show it to you now. Same sort of thing. So if I want to try to get to mywidgets.com and to have it be my actual local host here, I'm going to need to try to ping it first. Now, you see, I actually did get a real IP address when I went to ping it at first. So it's 64.95.64.197. Have no idea where that is. Don't really care about where it is at the moment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a particular folder, which is going to be C Windows System 32 /drivers /etc. There's a handful of host files in there. There's an LM host, there's a network, there's services, there's a protocol, and then there's just a regular old hosts file. So I'm going to actually open up the hosts file. I'm going to use Notepad to do it. So there's a couple of entries here because they're all the same. I'm just going to change this one to be to mywidgets.com. I'm going to save that. Now when I come back over here and I try to ping mywidgets.com, I actually get my local host. So if I was making updates to, if my client wanted their mywidgets.com website redone, I could actually download the files, put them on a local web server on my system. Then I could actually make that change that would allow me to go in and do whatever I had to do and get all the scripts and everything set up so that it worked perfectly here before I moved it into the live environment. The other thing is if there was an IP name or a domain name that I didn't own yet, that I was planning on getting or that I was thinking about getting but I wasn't sure that that was the one I was going to get, I might go and do the same sort of thing. I will ask you to do some stuff with some server naming in some later exercises for parts of your labs. So just keep in mind that these are the two spots to go to kind of fake DNS accounts for your system. So anytime that you run into a problem or a spot where I ask you to do something using this as a name, you should really go into your hosts file on that system and make the change to actually put that in there, so that whatever name you use is actually in your hosts file. Alternatively, you could actually go ahead and go through the process of setting up DNS server and just add an entry to for your system in the DNS server. Either way will work. The host file is a whole lot quicker. Just keep in mind is that on the Windows side is really straightforward. On the Linux side, it's a little bit trickier in that you need to be the super user to let that happen. Alright, that's it for this one, so I'll talk to you again later. Bye for now.